Welcome to the weekly presser with Dr. Alvin Parker for Virginia Union University football. Coach, you had a big win this past weekend, 69-7 over Kentucky State. Can you give me your comments, and then we will open the floor up for questions.
I thought the guys played extremely well. We went about 8.5, 9 hours across the country, and and those guys were in a different place. Nobody had ever went to Kentucky State, so those guys got out there, adapted to the environment. We thought it was going to be a small delay at first with some lightning that was in the area, so it kind of pushed warm-ups back a little bit. But those guys adjusted and kind of came out. We had the pick on the first drive, which was real uncharacteristic of some things that we do. But after that, them guys got together, and I think offense and defense and special teams played extremely well enough for us to win in the fashion that we did.
All righty, we're going to open the floor up for questions now. First off, I want to make sure everybody can hear Coach correctly. Can everybody hear? All right, we're going to open the floor up now for questions. When you ask your question, please identify yourself and what organization you're with.
Hey, Alvin, John O'Connor here from the Richmond paper. Thanks for doing this.
Appreciate it.
What changes in terms of preparation when you meet an FCS opponent? What do they present that you're not accustomed to? Thank you.
Nothing changes in the preparation. I think the preparation kind of stays the same. I think that's going to be key for us to kind of let all guys see that, we treat them just kind of like another opponent. Sometimes when you get in these type of games, you can kind of overcoach things and you can kind of make things a little bit more complicated than they probably should be. But that's our job, not to overcomplicate it and make sure we prepare the same as we've been preparing. But they're going to present some challenges, and we know that. Anytime you play up a division, is what it is. But I promise, I won't use that as an excuse or anything else. We just want to go down there and get the opportunity to play.
Coach, it's Gary Stein from WCBM Radio, also the Virginia Union play-by-play guy. Coach, I wanted to ask you, RJ made his first start for Virginia Union in that game. Got off to a rough start, obviously, but then came back with a great game. Can you just talk about what you may have told him on the sideline to kind of level him off and kind of get his mind back to where it needed to be?
Not a whole lot. We knew the read was correct. The throw just was a little errant, but he made a bunch of good decisions all day. So I think he finished upwards of about maybe 12 or 16 or something in that range. So he had a pretty good day. So it wasn't anything. He didn't look rattled, so I didn't feel rattled. So and we just kind of kept coaching him. And he came back and made a bunch of plays after that. So, he's one of those guys we depend on, and he's an extremely smart player, and he'll come tell you the mistake before you have to even see and think about it. So, again, his performance was pretty good, besides that one play I wish we can get back. But, other than that, I thought he played pretty well.
Of course, it doesn't hurt that you have a guy like Jada Byers behind him, right?
Never hurts. It never hurts. Those guys played well. That whole backfield, every back that got an opportunity to touch the ball, and I think it was about maybe 5 of them, they got an opportunity to carry the ball on Saturday, showed up and performed. But, Jada Byers put up some pretty good numbers like that were kind of expected of him, and, broke off some big runs and made a bunch of plays, so, I was happy to see that as well.
Are there more questions?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. How's it going? Nolan Knight with WRAC, Generally Sports. What have you seen from Hampton on tape, and what's kind of your mindset going into this game? I know you just touched on playing up, but specifically what you've seen from them and what they're expecting.
They're a great looking team. They have a bunch of size, a bunch of speed. A bunch of guys that play big time football on their roster. So, we got to just make sure, we're just not overwhelmed by that. They have a lot of depth. They have a bunch of guys, like I said, that are capable of making plays. And we've seen that last week, and we've seen that from some of the stuff that we've seen out of them a year before. They have a big time quarterback. They have 2 of them that we feel like can get it done. And they're huge across the board up front. They're going to be probably bigger than any team we're probably going to see all season. But that's, like I said, that's to be expected when you play up. So all guys had a great practice today. They kind of taken in some of the game plan stuff that we've already put in. And we just expecting a good game on Saturday. You know, again, like I said, we aren't doing anything different. We just gonna go out there and present our best selves.
Coach, I was watching. Yeah, I was watching the broadcast on Saturday, and the announcers, Charlie Neal and his partner, made a very interesting comment. I wasn't aware of this, and hoping you can expand on it a little. As far as the team bonding experience is concerned, you take the kids to various churches around the Richmond area, and I know that's important to you. Can you tell me how that started, number one, and number two, the reaction of your team as you do it?
Well, how it started is my Coach Willard Bailey did it for us when I was a student athlete here. So I kind of just took a page out of his book. You know, I probably do it a little bit more, you know, in terms of that. And it's something that we just want to do during camp and just kind of get those guys out in the community. And all those guys kind of have different things they believe in. So you want to make sure you kind of, you know, adapt to all of that. But it's just get them guys a chance to just see a bunch of different churches in the area, so they maybe can find a church home if they want to, you know. And those guys have expanded that thing, and you know now, you know, those guys have a Bible study group that they do, you know, on Mondays, and some of those guys still visit some of those churches on their own that I took them to. So, you know, it's just that, you know, you want to do it in the faith, family, football aspect of things, and it gives you an opportunity to do that.
Hey, Alvin, does Joe Taylor chime in anything this week? Obviously, he's very familiar with both programs.
We kind of dubbed this the Joe Taylor Bowl, you know, like I said, because he's been in both programs, you know, but not as much, you know. I talked to Coach this morning, and you know, he just was speaking about the game this past Saturday, kind of taking that all in, you know, and you know, his job is just like, you know, get them ready, Coach. You know, that's kind of his only message, you know. So, but again, I know it's something pretty big for him just because he's been on both sidelines for both Virginia Union and Hampton. So, like last time we went down there, everybody knows who he is. He's all-time winningest coach there. So, again, it's something big. Like I said, we call it the Joe Taylor Bowl.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions? All right, Coach, thank you for kicking off this season of the Pressers. And we'll be doing this again next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Hope to see everybody back then.
Thank you.
If you're not ready.